I just drink wine.
People get really into it. They're like get super addicted to Diet Coke, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
was.
For sure.
huge
I
thing.
was for
Yeah.
ages, like ridiculous amounts.
What
Is it
the
more just-
aspartame?
Yeah.
Yes, my mom loves it.
Is it more
She's
just
an
like the
aspartame
tribe,
lover.
like the tribe of like people that drink Diet Coke?
I think you just get used to the flavors so much so that when you start drinking regular Coke, it doesn't taste good. I'm accustomed to this.
I just drink water. And a 5, 6, 7, 8.
Welcome to the wine
situation.
Wow.
That was like Grand Ole Opry.
That was really different.
Yeah, we're recording live at the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, that's Sean Buckles over there bringing you
Hey.
wine because he knows everything about wine because he's the wine whisperer. Now it's becoming an auction.
Thank you very much, Ellen
He was
Clifford.
the wine whisperer. He helped open Barcovelle. He worked with Greg Condes. He knows all the stuff about wine.
That's Ellen Condes. Oh my gosh, Ellen Condes is actually Gregory's wife. That's crazy.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I mistakenly texted her the other night thinking it was you. This is Ellen Clifford.
I'm curious what kind of.
This is very,
You're like,
very
this bitch
short.
wants to sell us wine.
This is Ellen Clifford. She passed the WSETs. She's the brains behind the operation, the wine operation, the winery of my brain.
Your brain is a winery.
My brain is a winery.
Produces a lot of liquid facts.
Just fermented and pickled at this point.
Oh,
I think is really what's happening.
you guys are on our second episode.
Second episode.
We're already laughing. This is good. Our guests are fantastic today. We have Morgan Murphy and Robin Shorr.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure, like the seashore.
I just
Like
like
seashore.
stuttered and then I tried to make it sound like I didn't know, but
No, it's
Robin
fine.
Shorr. I just knew
Yeah.
I was
It's a
just
name that gets a
stuttering.
lot of people choked up.
Yeah.
They
It's
host.
just emotional.
Yeah. It's,
Emotional
Robin
name. You
Shorr.
can't
Yeah.
get through it.
We got through it. They have a podcast of their own, the Los Feliz, the podcast.
Yeah, it's about Los Feliz, our neighborhood, and we just talk about our neighborhood.
I
and
thoroughly enjoy
It's
it.
very specific, and if you live in Los Feliz, you might like it, and if you don't live in Los Feliz, you also might like it, but we don't understand those people.
I mean,
No, I do. I think I'd listen to a podcast about a different neighborhood. but-
Yeah, it's a change of pace for people.
sure.
I feel like people listen to podcasts just about all the Hollywood bullshit. So we're just like focusing or you guys are focusing in on a slightly smaller section.
We're really
Yeah.
zooming in.
Yeah. Zoom
This-
in.
People lean in. We zoom in.
And you got to zoom in about
so
what you
sorry.
know. Your
Right.
Zoom
neighborhood.
in.
Right.
What if I wrote a book called Zoom In?
Zoom in.
Which was like the
It
high
would
tech.
sell millions of copies.
It's
Yeah.
like the high tech version
Yeah.
of Lean In. It's just faster.
Yeah.
And it's bigger.
Yeah.
And it's much easier to see.
Yeah.
Zoom in.
Zoom in.
I like it.
Yeah. I like it.
I'm so excited to have something else to write.
Yay. Are you writing a book right now? Or?
I'm writing a couple of TV shows right now.
Oh yeah, that'll keep you a little bit occupied.
We got three trains running in my head. We do our podcast every week.
Wow.
And Morgan's got like 7 trains because she's
I don't have 7 tries. The podcast is my real.
There you
It's
go.
the real,
Yeah.
the discussing who's got the best tacos in a half-mile radius.
Who do
is
you?
my-
We haven't.
People want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you
best
think?
tacos.
Best
Yeah.
taco Los Feliz?
Well, I mean, Yucca's is a
Sure.
Yucca's is it's classic. You
It's
got to go to
classic.
Yucca's. But then
Yeah.
I occasionally Puran's has a
Taco?
whitefish
What?
taco.
Do
thing.
they?
Yeah, they'll do like
Wow.
a lunch special.
I feel like
Wow.
I ate there once and I thought it was an Italian restaurant.
Yeah,
but
it's
I'm-
all
They
got
have
all
pizza.
different.
They have
do a
pizza.
whitefish salad, I believe.
That's
That's
a
delicious.
really
but-
eclectic menu.
Well, I feel like the tacos were special, but I Malo.
Malo. I love Malo.
Is that Los Feliz, though?
It's Silver Lake, but
Silver
we do
Lake.
neighbors too. We do, and we'll
Right.
kind of talk
I
about.
mean,
Well, I live like right there, so.
do you live right
I
there?
live right where Los Feliz, East Hollywood, and Silver Lake all converge.
Yeah.
Thai Town, kind
On
of.
Fountain. No, Fountain.
on
Like
Fountain. no.
Max Senate Stages.
Nice.
That's
Oh,
I'm right
the
there.
Max Senate stages. You have
Yeah.
to read the book that I'm reading called Los Feliz in the 1920s.
Ooh.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have that book?
No, I would love to read it.
Oh,
no, I
yeah.
do need to read it.
Yes, it's really interesting. It's
Yeah.
really interesting because the Los Feliz was like where they made silent films, and the Prospect Studios was like probably the first movie studio in Los Angeles was in Los Feliz. We should save this for the podcast.
I know. We should really save it
Yeah.
for
Can
the
we
podcast.
just air this instead of
I
our
know.
podcast?
You guys want a copy? I'll send you a
Yeah.
copy.
You know, here we are in somebody else's house talking about our house. It's
Before
sorry,
we start-
so sorry.
No, that's what that's the
No,
point.
we ask questions because we want answers. This is our like
Where do
secret.
you live?
I live technically, I believe it's it's either Westlake or Rampart Village. It's like Rampart and Third.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
neighborhood.
That's just I call Westlake where Silver Lake's dirty cousin. Just a little closer to MacArthur. A little like.
But there's that really nice gated community that's right there.
Is there?
Yeah,
There is,
there's
that's
like a
right.
secret gated
Where?
community.
I don't know.
It's right there. It's like Wilshire and Third.
Okay.
I feel like
Wilshire
I'm trying to
and
like
Third
drive.
run parallel.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
It's Wilshire and Rampart.
Okay, well, that's
But
right.
there's a gate there, and it looks
By
really fancy.
me.
You'd never know that it was like an elite community of people that live back there.
Don't.
I'm serious.
An elite community.
bunch of libtards.
I mean,
I live. No, I'm not going to give out my address here, but yeah, I'm right there. I'm like within walking from Crawford's, my own little watering hole for my neighborhood.
oh,
Yeah.
watering holes.
But I feel like we should get into what you guys want to whine about so that we can pour wine.
There we go.
Oh.
I don't think we even said what we do on the show, which people should know by now.
Yeah,
Or,
I mean,
but if you don't listen before, we pair people's wines with H's with wines without.
So
Yeah.
that's like the bracha. You can't get the wine unless you wine.
yeah.
You need to
What
say
was
the
that
prayer
word?
first. Bracha, the prayer, the blessing.
yeah.
Listen,
I
it
don't know if
comes
it's
out.
a blessing. You know, it's like a pairing, or more like an antidote.
Yes.
Our wine is always a blessing. What
Our
did you
wine
think?
is a blessing.
Wine is a blessing.
It's an assuaging of.
Yeah, it's an
of your
antidote to your
wine.
wines. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what do you want to? You guys had two things, which we don't normally do, but we're like we can accommodate this.
wine.
Well, yeah, we don't have like. First of all, we probably hate the same things, similar things.
Okay.
My thing is more of like a discussion because I don't really know exactly how I don't know the exact numbers, but like, can we dish about how much is too much to post on social media? Like, I just mean frequency.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's a lot of people who post a lot, like all day, and I like some of those people. But what do you do? And how much is
Yeah.
too much?
And
also, am I one of
have
them? That's another thing. I wouldn't.
That's,
I'd
I
like to
think, the
know. No
deeper
one's told me
question.
that.
I wasn't aware of that one, but we can definitely talk about
Okay.
it for sure.
The other one, we're not doing headlines. Let's go one by one. Sorry, I don't.
Oh no! Let's throw it. Just whoever wants to throw a wine out there,
Yeah.
just let it into the air. We can just like let them.
Let them flow.
all flow.
Let them all flow. Okay,
Oh.
okay. My thing is the sidewalk that's right in front of Blue
Yeah.
Bottle. It's closer. It's actually technically in front of a hair salon, and it's on Blue Bottle's on one side and Lassen's on the other.
On Hillhurst.
I walked by
Hillhurst.
there the other day to check out the situation.
Yeah.
Research.
Wow, and the sidewalk is just jammed up because there's a ficus tree growing. Is that what they said? So, yeah, we learned that there was a ficus tree there, and we learned that we have to go down there and use my 311 to take a picture of it and send it into the city. That's what we just learned on our last podcast.
I just learned.
Yeah,
I listened to that and was so excited.
Oh.
I'm like, that's a good tip. That 311.
Yeah,
if
the app
you have
is
a
good.
complaint about Los Angeles.
Yeah, so that was my big wine. I mean, what kinds of research did you do? What did you discover?
Wait, did I have a wine from before that I was supposed
did
to
you
say?
ever
I thought
email
yours was
in a
the
wine?
rent is too damn high. No. Was what
No.
I was.
Oh, I don't think.
Oh yeah, but I will. I mean, I do think
it.
that.
Yeah.
Is that better to like? Should I just like? Because I didn't know that was like a specific one. I must have missed any. I apologize.
No,
we
it's
should keep
totally
this in. By
cool.
the way.
No, yeah, we're keeping it.
It goes with wine. I started
Yeah.
picking a wine based on because I'd heard yours.
No,
first.
but I'm more mad about the rent. So let's talk about that.
She is mad about the
I am
rent.
mad-
Like,
the-
legitimately,
I have
it's
to
come
be
up.
honest. The Twitter thing is more like the last 2 days. I've just had enough of a lot of things, but I want to talk about the rent more because
Cheers.
Cheers.
if I have 2 more glasses of wine, I'll start naming names.
I love a
we'll
chilled
edit
red.
anything you want.
I love a
Slightly
chilled-
chilled red.
It's slightly chilled red.
What's
It
it
is-
called?
So we wanted something that was a good value for the money because of the rent for the being too high. So I first thought of Beaujolais, that region.
Love Beaujolais.
Love it.
Love it.
This
This is really good.
this is from one of the crew up at the north of Beaujolais. There are 10 sort of crew village, crew CRU, which means it's the soil's different there. And that was the other thing that made me pick this is I was like, we need a wine, some wines grow on clay that's like that sidewalk is hazardous, right?
Yes.
That you're pissed about. So we need a
Yes.
wine that grows in a good, firm granite soil.
Oh.
And that's exactly what they have there is they have this pink granite soil. It's firmer. It makes wine that's more delicious than the rest. Like Southern Beaujolais goes a little more into limestone and clay, and it's more slippery. So we're like, we wanted a wine that comes from solid ground to sort of be the antidote to your broken sidewalk.
Granite.
And
I
also
really
one that's
like
good
it.
value because these are like Crew vineyards. They're great wines, but they are not as well known, so they they charge a little less.
Yeah, like solid granite.
I like it.
Oh,
And that's the
Into
soil
it.
type. The soil type in
What's the actual name of it, though?
So this is Renier is the Cru region, and the name they gave it was grain and granite, even named after the granite soil, or in French, granite.
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 Love it.
The producer is
Yeah.
Grand Marnier.
yeah,
Yeah.
Renier Royal.
So it's basically
Renier.
like crew. This is some
Renier.
crew,
Renier Zellweger. All right, guys.
right? Yeah.
Ren.
You had me at
Jan
hello.
Stimpy. And where do you purchase such wines?
This one I got online from Kermit Lynch, is the importer. Or no, actually, I first got it from a wine store. I'm trying to remember which one because I get around.
Silver Lake Wines?
No, it was one not in our
Wally's?
neighborhood. It was suddenly.
Oh, look at you knowing your wine store.
I know.
That's the only
Domain
two I know.
LA.
That place,
Domain LA,
that place
right?
at like Melrose near Highland that's in the
That's
California.
Domain LA.
Domain LA.
Yeah. Did you guys ever go to
I hate
Lou's
when
wine
you-
shop?
Don't you hate when you
Lou's
when you
great.
say something after people said it and they're like, "That's what we were just talking about," and I'm like, "Oh, I clearly didn't know enough about what I was mentioning because I didn't know that it had a name."
I just remembered
I
Winehouse.
we're big fans of Lou over here.
Yeah.
So good.
Love
Yeah.
Lou.
Great.
He's the best.
I feel like
Lou is a
one of the
great
best.
restaurant.
Yeah, he probably had this in at some point because this is also a biodynamic wine. It's all natural. It's
This
all
winemaker
that.
Thevenet, he studied with.
This is his son. Oh, you.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie Thevenet, and he studied with LaPierre, which is another like Morgon producer. So like fancy Cru, Gamay, and Beaujolais.
There
I
were
can
the
taste
Morgon
it.
four.
I can
Yeah.
taste the fanciness.
You can
Taste
taste the
the fancy.
granite.
Man, it's a nice.
You guys
chill
know
bread.
more about wine than I know about like my family lineage.
You do.
You do.
I probably know more
when
about
you're
wine than I
Jewish,
do.
there's only like 4
yeah, there's
generations.
4
4 lines.
Between me and Morgan, we're like
I've got, like,
half,
6
We're 20%
Yeah.
of a region in Burgundy, France. There's not that many of us left, and we are probably related. We did just find a picture of us that was taken like 4 years ago that neither of us remember
Yeah.
taking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do you guys know each other?
Yeah.
We're neighbors.
Just from being neighbors?
Yeah, we live on
Just
the
from
same
being
street.
neighbors.
Oh,
She
also
invited me
too,
over.
I have to do a plug for Bill Petty.
Oh.
Love Bill Petty.
Oh my god.
He comes into Cobell
I
all
think
the
I've had him
time.
Oh
there.
yeah, he does.
He
He's the
loves an
best.
IPA. He's always like, "What IPA do you got?"
Yeah, he
We got
is.
this one.
He is.
How did you
the-
know who Bill was, though?
Yeah.
Because I gave his credit card, so I know his name. But I also know him. I've seen him around for years.
Yeah,
and
he's
other-
lived there for a long time,
Yeah.
and he's also like the best and most effortless hang. that you
Yes.
can have. Like
We
he's
went
just
to
such a
Girls
good
Trip with
dude.
him
Yeah,
on
we went to
Friday.
see Girls Trip, the 3 of us this week.
So
Nice. I need to see
That's
we had
that.
amazing.
the greatest time.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I had that much fun at the movies.
fun.
I really don't.
I heard it was good. I heard it was good.
It's really good.
Tiffany Haddish is
Steals it.
It's like it's a good
Murders
movie,
it.
and there's like great parts, and then Tiffany Haddish is like another. It's just It's like a combination of committing so hard and also being effortless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like I don't even understand how people do
Jealous
that.
of people who can do that.
Yeah, it was
Can I
pretty
just
cool.
say also, I just finished working with Tiffany Haddish for 6 months, and I just found out like a week ago that we went to the same junior high and high school
Whoa.
at the same time.
What?
And we didn't know.
You're from out
I saw her
here?
every day for 6 months, and it never came up. It's so crazy. And now Girls Trip came out. I'm never gonna see her again, and I'm never gonna be able to say we went to the same 2
Cool.
schools.
Yeah.
I think I'm older than her, but we were there at relatively the same time.
Is that out here in
Yeah,
LA?
in the valley. Anyway, this wine is great.
Yeah,
have
it's
you heard
delicious.
Have you heard of Pat's and Hall?
No.
What's that?
It's a winery that I went to in Napa last month.
Oh.
Oh.
Pat's
and Hall? Fancy.
Yeah. So now I have some Pat's and
Pat's
Hall
and
wines.
Hall.
Look
I
it up.
should-
And have you
I
heard
by the
of
way,
Goo-
like never drink. This is like going to be very. I had wine on one of our podcasts that we did, and today,
Yeah.
but you know, I like to say it's a crapshoot. Not whether I'm going to like it; it's delicious, but who I turn into.
Well, wait.
Okay.
wait.
Well, we are like one podcast episode into
Right.
how much
So you're
wine we've been
feeling
drinking,
good.
so we're
Okay,
good. You
good.
become whoever you feel good.
I think
that's welcoming.
deep down,
Yeah.
I think 2 glasses in, I'm a little. I don't mean to brag. I'm a little bit of a dancer.
oh.
well-
Dance party.
After this, you know,
Really? A
Yeah.
dancer? I
Yeah.
would not.
we're gonna get kicked out at 9. And also, Shaughn and I have another goal for the night, which is to throw drinks in each other's faces. So we're just gonna go out, dance, throw drinks
Throw
in each
drinks
other's
to the faces.
Yeah,
That's
That's
what we
fun.
do.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that before? Have you ever thrown a drink in someone's face?
Never.
No. No, but I defended somebody when someone threw a drink in their face, and that was interesting.
You defended the thrower, or
yeah,
the,
I was
or
with
the
like a
throwee?
really good friend of mine, and we were out, and like an ex of hers threw a drink in her face, and we I, being the man in the relationship, took it upon myself to, scream.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited that you guys know Bill and know how wonderful he is.
He's the best.
That's basically the long way of saying that. We're glad that he's getting his due as the raddest dude in the world.
Yeah.
Definitely the raddest dude in the world.
Took us to see who we went to see Girls Trip. It was so fun.
We were talking about drinks, whether thrown or not. We forgot to do what's in the glass last night while we're talking about the wine. So the people at home listening, we were trying to do a little segment sometimes where we all go around.
Yeah.
We're like, what do we see? What do we smell? What do we taste? Just so the people listening that want to know about the wine.
Yeah, what's in the glass?
So I mean, you look at it; it's pretty deep purple. Is my technical term for that.
Tastes purpley.
It's a deep purple for a Gamay. This is pretty deep purple.
What year is this? If this is 2015, then no, it's 14. Okay, pretty typical. 2015 was like extra sugary. Yummy.
Oh, really? In
yeah, it was
Beaujolais?
really hot there that year. So apparently, if you get a 2015 Beaujolais, you're like, well, this is not typical. That's my I'm trying to excuse my wine.
I'm being a wine person.
No, but this is the second time I'm hearing about this 2015 issue.
Really?
Really?
It's not.
Did Lou tell you about it? Because he told me about it.
No, I heard about it at the sparkling wine tasting that I went to in Napa, Schramsberg. Have you heard of Schramsberg?
Yeah,
I've heard of
definitely.
Schramsberg,
So
yeah.
it was at Schramsberg that they were talking about 2015. We went on the cave tour.
I don't know how it was here in California, but in Beaujolais in France, it was hot.
Yeah,
And
I
it
don't
made some-
remember.
2015, I think it was super rainy, wasn't it, up there? Or was it super hot?
How
I
can
forget.
you
I know,
remember
I have
the
no-
weather
I
in
don't even-
2015?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It's only 2 years.
But it really affects the grapes, too, because just in
Yeah.
how they grow and how they ripen and what you get and all that stuff.
Do you want to know the worst thing?
But
By the way, I
Yes.
guarantee you this is not the worst thing. Go ahead.
The worst
It's not going to
thing.
be like the worst at all. You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm getting ready. Okay,
When
go
I
ahead.
was in Napa last July, as I've mentioned seven
Yeah,
times
seven
before
times. Yeah.
on this podcast so far.
have you been to Napa?
Yes, I have.
Oh, wow.
Have you tasted some wines?
I have.
Were they sparkling? Maybe
One of them was the night we were. I went with a bunch of friends, college friends, and others, such and sundry people, and we were all very excited for like a year. We had a reservation at Ad Hoc.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Thomas
that's
Keller.
nice.
We had been to Meadowood the year before, which was crazy and actually overwhelming, and I wept because it was so beautiful, and I couldn't handle. I hadn't ever experienced
I have
a meal
so
like
much
that in
food
my life.
envy of you
Wow.
right now.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was for my friend's 40th, and I was moved in a physical way that I went to the bathroom and wept. It was the most beautiful thing that's ever happened in my life was that meal. But so this year we toned it down a little bit. Ad Hoc is like the very sort of easy access version of French Laundry. It's the same people, but it's not as fancy. Anyway, we're so excited. We're texting each other, this whole group on a group thread, here's what I'm gonna have at Ad Hoc, and the menu just came out, and we've been planning.
Is it better than California Chicken Cafe?
Yes.
Chicken. I love a classic wrap. At
I
California
used to
Chicken
love
Cafe.
the Chinese chicken salad. Oh, what a classic. Is that not
Anyways.
what it's called?
Yeah, I just never have it. I think the classic
place
wrap
on
is
Melrose?
amazing. You were
Yeah,
talking
right
about
next
great
to
food. And
Domain
that's what I was
LA.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. But anyway, we were in the van, all being driven down the hill to go into wherever for Ad Hoc, Yountville, and
The worst thing happened.
they called and said that there was a power outage in Yountville, and that Ad Hoc was closed for
And
the
Thomas
night.
Keller was going to light a
What?
fire and cook your own
no.
food on a skewer.
It was. I'm
That is
still
awful.
Wow.
processing.
What was the follow-up meal, though? What was the...
What'd you eat instead?
I believe we went to a lovely restaurant called Glen Ellen, but the thing about it being hot in 2015 reminded me that it was so hot that week, and that's why there was a power outage.
Yeah.
And then we went to Glen Ellen, and they sort of had a power outage too.
No.
But it was fun. We were all together.
But it wasn't
what
the
it's about.
worst thing.
to
It's the
me,
worst
it
thing
was.
that's ever happened.
That's what I'm whining about. Is Ad Hoc, July 7th, 2017. Your grapes were plenty unsalty by then. Ad Hoc.
Yeah.
Ad hoc.
Should we go on with our like
Wines?
what's Yeah, let's all smell.
Yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys smell? What do you
Yeah.
smell in there?
We like
Oh, I don't have a sense of
Just
smell.
tell me anything.
yeah.
I have no sense.
Nothing
of
you
smell.
say is
Oh,
wrong.
no sense of smell?
Oh, really?
Really, I don't.
Like
Those
I
aren't the best
honestly, this is
glasses.
how stupid I am. All I could think is like, I smell wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that I smell
I mean,
wine?
I mean,
As long as it smells like wine, then we're on the
do you
right
get
track.
any sort of like anything found in
Fruits?
nature?
Maybe like a yellow, I literally almost just called a lemon a yellow. I'm not like, I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm
A
a sip
yellow.
in.
Slow down.
A yellow.
Slow down here.
The picture of the line came before the
Yes.
word. I mean,
Oh.
lemon. It smelled like citrusy. Am I wrong? Is there a citrus in there?
Listen,
You guys, I am
There's something-
taking wild guesses.
No,
here.
yeah.
I have a public service announcement right
Please,
now, which
please.
is for all the ladies out there who are on birth control.
Yeah.
If you're on the Yaz pill, when you go off of it, expect to lose your sense of smell.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
really?
Because
What?
it's been years.
What?
And I cannot smell.
And it was when you went off birth controls when you
Yes.
lost your sense of smell.
like completely and totally correlated.
Wow.
That is so
you think
weird.
I'm making it up?
I a little bit do.
I can't tell you like how many times in writers' rooms I've brought in my lunch and everyone's like, Robin, like,
Get those onions
it
out
smells
of here.
so bad, and I'm like, really?
Wow.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Like it's very. There's a little bit
But
of
you can
innocence
still-
connected with not being able to smell.
You can still taste okay, you think? Though?
yeah, ish.
So now take a sip and
Yeah.
then like smell
So-
and then like breathe through your nose
Okay.
and let me know if you get anything that way.
Nothing.
Nothing.
But you know what? I can taste, obviously.
All right.
But I was at my friend's house and he put out like smells. Have you ever seen one of those suitcases that has all the smells in it if
It's
you want to
like-
learn about the wine smell?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I
always
failed at
wanted
it
to get one.
miserably.
Yeah, I don't know. How would I know how to describe a wine smell? Like, I don't know how to describe any smell. I just think, like, cherries smell like cherries. And I don't know how to say that a thing smells like, I don't know.
Well, I
Like
get
a
a lot
thing.
of a lot of blackberry,
Yeah, me too.
and it's like a little jammy, which is odd
Yeah, me
for a
too.
Beaujolais. Like it's
Blackberry.
Actually-
that's
Actually,
exactly. I mean, I was
Taste
just
blackberry,
sensing
now that you
that was
said
what
it.
you
Yeah.
wanted to say.
Whatever you say, I smell.
Now that you said
Yeah.
blackberry, I can totally taste that,
Well,
but I needed guidance.
Psychosomatics. I don't know. Sometimes I think it's just that, like, when you're training in wine, you all sit around in a room until, like, eventually everyone correlates on one word
One
to describe
word,
one
yeah.
thing, and we just know that as sort of like how everyone knows a cherry. You know those scented markers, and they are different fruits, and like even though it smells nothing like an orange, you're like, that's orange.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if it's like that with wine.
I
Like,
think it is a little bit like that. Yeah.
yeah, that's how we all have never had gooseberries in our life, and we were
Oh.
like, oh, Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand is clearly cat pee on a gooseberry bush. Clearly.
Cat pee on a gooseberry
Clearly.
bush.
Clearly. Although then we have
Clearly.
Because like for me on this, I get purple flower
Oh.
on the nose.
What's a purple flower, though?
What's a purple flower exactly? But I don't know. But like that smell to
Like
me,
lilacs?
there's
Like
something floral about it,
Yeah.
and it's the color purple.
Rose of Cairo.
The color purple.
Rose
You
of
guys, Oprah Winfrey.
Next time I take a wine test, I'm
color.
going to use that as a tasting eyes.
So have you guys seen the movie? Have you seen the movie Psalm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Them,
No,
okay,
you should
so
see it.
them in the rooms practicing is exactly what we're like.
Yeah.
It's not, they're not making this shit up. It is so true. We'd all sit there like, no, fuck you, this is medium dry.
How long did you do that for?
I mean, I just started actually studying seriously like a year and a half ago.
Wow.
But
Good for you.
Thanks. I mean, the test we had to do the blind taste. What I did was not their level.
It's like this crazy 3-part test. The third part is taste.
Yeah,
So
but
if you weren't born with good taste buds, you can't pass
no,
the test.
but you can learn because I thought
That's what people say about singing and stuff, though, too. They're like, no, you can learn to sing. And I'm like, no, it would I can't
Anybody
learn
can
to
get
sing.
better.
I can't learn
Really?
to know
Yeah.
about
I
wine.
really want to take singing lessons and come
Take
over to your
singing
house and
lessons.
sing.
Take them, yeah.
Take 'em.
Step
Anybody
into the
can
bad
get
side.
better. Like some people are born with crazy voices. I wasn't born like a good taster, but the wine classes definitely did make me better. It's just like practice.
Yeah.
And spitting out a lot of wine, wasting a lot of money.
But having fun.
But having fun.
And how's Covell? Sorry, do you mind if I ask you questions?
Ask-
How's
Go for it.
Covell?
Covell's great.
How's Dusty?
He's great. How do you know Dustin?
Dustin.
Dustin and
sorry.
how do you know Dustin? Or
I
Dustin?
met him when he worked at Cafe Stella. Yeah.
That's how
He was friends with my friend Molly. That's how I met him, Molly Claus. She goes to Covell.
Yeah, I think I know Molly. Oh yeah, I know Molly. Yeah. Dustin and I went to college together.
Oh, where did you guys go?
Cal Arts.
That's right.
I
Yes.
started going to Covell because I went to Cafe Stella when Dustin was there bartending,
Oh.
and he knew how to like win his customers, and the night would be ending, and he'd just be like, pouring a little more. We'd all be lighting up smokes inside. And then he's like, I'm opening my own wine bar, guys. And guess where I started going?
Exactly.
I like cool. I would be there more, but I tend to be a whiskey drinker.
She's hardcore.
No, I'm not.
I love whiskey.
I wouldn't call it hardcore. I happen to know exactly how it affects me, and I like it, and I like to have a cup of whiskey.
What's your whiskey?
Cup of whiskey. Well, I'll kind of
Does
really
it depend on your mood?
Yeah,
it
depends. I go like Scotch whiskey wise. I had like my whole 20s. I was weirdly like a Crown Royal, like a blend. Like I just it was like
there's a lot of Crown Royal people.
Well, I drank it. So much like it used to
they
be
make
on
a
sale
rye
at
now.
CVS a lot.
They make a rye that's like really good.
Yeah, there was a huge bottle on sale at CVS one time, like enough to get me through like the winter. And I like started drinking that. I was living in this like little apartment, and I just fell in love with it. So I strictly drank that for a long time, and now I'm like a Jameson girl, pretty strictly.
I love whiskey, and I'm the last person you'd think would like the last person, but
I love it too.
Love it.
It's so good.
And I
great.
like this whiskey called Jura whiskey,
Ooh.
which I really can't find anywhere except on the internet.
Jura whiskey?
Jura.
There's actually a wine region.
Called Jura?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Eastern France.
Oh. This
know.
is Scottish, I think. It's an isle. It's an isle.
Jura.
Jura?
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting.
It's also a wine region, bringing it back to the wine.
Bringing it back to
So
the
what does
wine.
everyone taste in your mouth?
And we taste?
Life. Fullness.
I mean, for the W sets, we'd
Well,
go.
now I only taste
fall.
blackberries.
I taste autumn. That's what I taste.
It's
blackberries
just spices. Like there's a little bit of like clovey, like dusty forest floor, leafy kind of.
Oh, leafy, I get. I almost was going to say nutty.
Leafy. I can't. Are you guys excited that it's almost autumn?
Yes, my favorite season. I can tell.
You mean where it just stays hot as it's been? And like we have to like
fall is the
pretend.
But you can wear
best.
your sweater says you love. Like I've been admiring your sweater all night.
Really?
Like, well, I love. I love things I can pull over my hands. And she has this sweater that's like it's all
I can't-
nubbly
you can't
and
act like
green
Jennifer
and
Love
cozy,
Hewitt
and you
with
can
these
pull it over your.
thumb holes in my sleeves. And I haven't worn this sweater in months.
It's great.
It's a pretty bold move wearing a sweater. I gotta.
Yeah,
because
'cause
it's pretty warm.
It's a
I
hot.
love it.
I hadn't even thought about fall.
Yeah, I'm excited about fall.
I'm excited about fall too. I can't wait.
I am so excited.
It's coming.
Fall is coming,
Fall,
you guys.
you guys, fall is coming.
Breaking
That's
news.
the CW
Yeah.
version of Game of Thrones.
Fall is coming.
This week on the CW.
But yeah, this wine definitely has like spicy
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of
into that. The spiciness. Yeah.
things.
There's also like something like weirdly like watery for me about Gamay. It's like kind of it's like juicy. There's like a juicy element
Yes,
to it.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tastes like a ripe, juicy.
Like a ripe
I'm
juicy.
going to say something
Blackberry.
terrible.
Please.
Say it.
Terrible.
What?
I'll love it, I'm
But
sure.
I mean it. I mean it in the most complimentary way.
Yeah.
Wine people are idiots because I mean I say it all the time and I'm a wine person.
No. I am tasting, and keep in mind, no sense of smell really. I'm tasting in the best way, in the best possible light, the tiniest bit of Manischewitz. I'm not even
I'm going to be, you know what? You know what? Nobody.
I've never had it.
It basically,
Oh, we'll come back for Passover.
Okay. You know
Yeah.
what it tastes like? It tastes like what Manischewitz should taste like.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
That's what
We
it is.
nailed
We
it.
got it.
Yeah.
Got
it
it.
took a while. That's you guys. Manischewitz is served
Like it's
chilled.
fruity and spicy.
And it's terrible.
It's terrible. It is the worst thing.
It's terrible, and it's like it's very telling that like as a Jew we do that to ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what we allow
can't even
ourselves.
enjoy the wine.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you don't beat your. One of the things I'm like that might make it like this is Gamay, the grape that's in Beaujolais, tends to like. There's not much tannin going on. Tannins being the things that make your mouth go like, "Whoa!" Someone just like got in there and beat my mouth up and dried it out, and so I'm like, that's probably a thing that Manischewitz has going.
It also
for yourself.
tastes like
Probably.
if you took like you know like the cherries and stuff they have like at bars that are soaked in like
yeah.
sauce and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maraschino cherries?
No,
the gourmet-
like the
the
gourmet,
Luxardo.
the Luxardo.
I love Luxardo
So it's
cherries.
basically like if you took Luxardo, like compote liquid, and filled a wine bottle with it. Like it's like there's cough syrupy elements to it.
Yes.
It's
Of
gross. And it's this.
Something kind of watery though about it too, a little bit.
Yeah, but it's thicker than this. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's just not as
Well,
enjoyable.
Hint-
this is what
hint
it
of
should be.
Manischewitz.
hint of Manischewitz.
You really should try some.
I wanna try
come
some now.
Passover time.
Yeah.
Or now. You can get it really cheaply right now.
Someone's
Is that
phone
you,
ringing.
Robin?
You guys, my phone hasn't rung all day.
Whoa!
Did you turn it
Robin's
off?
getting a call.
Is
Why
Bill
wouldn't you
calling
turn
Is
us?
it Bill Petty?
I'm so sorry.
Robin.
Who's
Oh
on?
my god.
This is our new segment called "Who's on the Phone."
If it's Bill
on the
Petty, we're
phone?
gonna lose
Who's
it.
on the phone?
Who's on the phone?
Just turn it
You don't
off.
get it?
It's
you
gonna
can't
keep
say?
going off.
Oh, she can't say.
I turned it off.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And I
But
just
we
saw the
wanted-
back of her sweater because she got up and has the stitching. Sorry. I'm
Oh
in
my
love
God,
with
you
your
guys
Got
have
sweater.
sweater.
holes and stitching. You're
Yes,
very,
this
it's
sweater's
very
We're gonna
amazing.
get a picture of it before. Well, we need pictures of you guys before
I
you
think
go.
I
anyway,
got it
but
at Nordstrom's.
It's. I mean, get into
Wait,
it.
I'm so sorry. My phone, I'm not kidding, because no one's called me all day except
the
for
way
Morgan.
and
it was off when you called, so why is it on now? I'm sorry.
Dun,
it
dun,
makes
dun.
sense
Shelby?
that this tastes like Passover wine.
Yeah.
I have to go through a desert for 30 years now because I feel so bad.
Well, now I'm looking at their winemaking like processes that I printed out because it's like not like a lot of the other Beaujolais stuff. It's not carbonic maceration.
It's not, no.
It's
but they
whole
do
cluster.
whole cluster fermentation.
It's hand
yeah.
sorted. It's rigorously sorted. The grapes.
I can taste the
So there's no
rigor.
Can you
raw.
take the rigor?
Can you
Yeah.
take the rigor? Maybe this is like the next. Maybe people should have this instead of Manischewitz. It's like the next step. What else? It's not fined or filtered. Oh, it's aged honestly in old Burgundy barrels.
Ooh.
And these vines were planted between 1932 and 1946.
We're just reading things off
Wow.
sheets now, guys.
How weird is that?
That's a long time.
It's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. I don't know much. I know that was a long time ago.
It's almost like around the time when Los Feliz became a little village.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like
Bring
it
it around.
Nurseries.
a little bit. I want to say I could have read wrong.
Yeah.
It was Mulholland, and then this guy named Feliz, and it was before the 1900s. I want to say.
It was, but didn't Griffith own a huge
Yeah, it
chunk
was
of
Griffith.
it?
Wasn't
Yeah.
Griffith
It wasn't-
W. Griffith was
Yeah,
his name?
that was
Yeah.
the guy. That was the original
Love
area.
his
The original
name
guy,
so
yeah.
much.
Yes, I did not bring my book with me.
And also a fun fact about him is that he tried to kill his wife while he was drunk. And they sent him to
Really?
San Quentin for
Griffith?
2 years. Yeah.
2 years.
2 years. 2 years, that's it.
2 years
For trying
in
to kill
San
your wife.
Quentin, though.
Oh,
And then came back, and then like the land, I guess, was like cursed.
I love
And
that
no
he had
one would live here.
a little slap on the wrist for killing your wife back
Yeah.
then.
Trying to kill your wife.
Trying to kill your wife.
How dare you?
well.
So people didn't
Good
like
guy,
him very
good
much.
guy.
Yeah.
The same thing is, I know it's not it's not even close to not even technically our neighborhood. The Doheny Mansion, there was a murder there too. There was a gay relationship happening with like the Doheny guy and his male secretary, and then one of them killed each other
In the mansion.
in the mansion. And so there's ghosts in the Doheny Mansion.
Oh, I love it.
Go there.
It's so weird to think about all the crazy stuff that's happened in these apartments and houses that we now inhabit. That,
Yes.
You know, like crazy shit.
Crazy.
I'm sure.
I always think like not like would I move into a house someone died, but like if I was murdered, let's say, in my house, and then my friend, like a friend of mine was like I have I don't have a will, but I have a note in my drawer that says this friend gets my house and my dog. I don't know why I actually have a real will, but I was like, would a friend move into my house? Like
Knowing.
would jump at moving into my house if I
you
was
died
murdered
there?
there. Yeah, if it was a free house.
I don't think.
It was a free house. Like I'm like I wonder.
I feel like
They would.
I mean I'm a homeowner, so I'm not saying this because I have someone good who know. I feel like I would be able to get over that, but I also like my next door neighbor who is old, just died of old age, and like it creeped me out for a minute, like someone died here, but I was like I'm okay with that.
I mean, any house that's over 50 or 60 years old.
A lot of people have died,
A lot of
yeah.
people probably died.
Girl,
Yeah.
people probably died in your house, in
Yeah.
your room. Yeah,
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
probably. It's not that weird.
Yeah.
It's not that uncommon. And they
It's
only have
not.
to disclose the information for a year, and then they don't have to tell you.
Right.
What?
Right. That
So
is true.
it's only 1 year.
Are we all homeowners
I hope
here?
that if somebody did die in my house, I hope that they died peacefully.
That's nice of you.
Looking
Yeah.
out on Los Feliz.
Right?
You
Have you
know,
guys had
do
any
gays
ghost
from your kingdom?
experiences in your house?
I'm not a big ghost gal.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Neither.
ghost person either. I hear
My-
noises and stuff, and I just assume like animal person.
I'm in a
Yeah.
condo, so
I never
assume.
go to ghost.
You never
know
go
what
to
I mean?
ghost,
I
yeah.
Do
never
you?
go to ghost.
I've gone to ghost a couple
Cut
times.
to ghost.
Yeah, it would take.
Smash
Yeah, it would never.
Smash
My
cut to
head would
ghost.
never go to ghost unless a ghost was standing in front of me. I would
Like-
never be like, must be a ghost. Like,
I think, I'll be honest with you, I had an experience when I was younger at a diner in Woodland Hills with my dad.
At a diner?
No, and my dad was wearing this tells you when it was. My dad was wearing a Ghostbusters t-shirt.
Yeah.
Not the reboot, but the one, 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And the waitress, this was a place called Corbin Bowl right off of Woodlake
I know
Avenue.
Corbin.
You
Do I? Please.
Okay. And
California 1993 California Bowling
yeah,
Championships.
and my dad's office was right behind Corbin Bowl, so I went there a lot. And this woman just told me that there was a ghost in Corbin Bowl, and she was really serious about it. And then after she left, my dad was like, "What a crackpot!" And so, like, whatever illusion there would have been around a ghost, my dad was like quick to dismantle that idea that there could be a ghost in Corbin Bowl. Should we do a Halloween episode from
wearing
Yeah.
a Ghostbuster shirt?
Yeah. And then all these years later at the reboot, Ivan Reitman fell into my body. He fell into my body. he missed a step and fell into me, and it was not a moment I expected to happen, but it did. We were at a gathering, and his body just fell into mine. I don't know how else to describe it. It was so strange. It was like as if he's always fallen into my body. Like the way I caught him was as if we do this dance every day.
I'm sorry, wait. Are you talking for real? Like he literally fell and you caught him?
But he wouldn't remember that, but I remember everything.
Not the ghost of him, the actual.
Yeah,
the
real
him.
Ivan Reitman, not
Real
ghost.
Ivan
not
Reitman.
Ghost Reitman.
Not Ghost Reitman.
I met Harold Ramis before he was a ghost.
Oh.
And I was just thinking of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
He
back.
mostly told Bill What's-His-Face stories.
Bill Murray?
Bill
Yeah.
Murray. Sure. Why
Also
wouldn't
known
he?
as Bill What's-His-Face.
If you had Bill
Right.
Murray stories, you just
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, my God.
that's
Yeah.
what you would
Bill
do for
Murray
a living.
story.
You just roam the country telling Bill Murray stories.
I
Yeah.
tell Bill Murray stories that other people have told me.
I do
Like,
too.
I don't even
Most
tell my
people
own.
do.
I'm like, I heard this great Bill Murray story. It has nothing to do with me. Do you want to sit here for the next 15 minutes while I try to remember it?
About how he drank rosé and then
Yeah.
walked
Bill
over to a
What's-His-Face.
table.
I heard great Kevin Nealon stories. You ever heard
Really?
great Kevin Nealon
No,
stories?
I've
Kevin
not
Nealon.
Love
heard his
Kevin
name for a little
Nealon.
while.
No one makes me
Do you
laugh
have
harder.
one?
No, not that I think I could share. I'm just saying, like, that guy always is doing funny things on the road and like being hilarious.
He's so
I
funny.
think he's just the funniest guy, and he just always has great stories about SNL people.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
He's a gem of this world.
He is.
Let's
He
get him
is.
on the show.
Okay.
Kevin Nealon should move to Los Feliz so that he could be on our podcast.
And then he can come drink wine with us and be on
Yeah,
our
come drink
podcast.
wine. We'll do a mashup.
Very friendly.
Yeah.
Very friendly.
Well, I'll just hang out at Covell and drink wine together and fuck the podcast.
So how long has Covell been there?
7 years.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It was a traffic school before.
That's right.
Yeah.
It
And then-
used to be a traffic
Yeah.
school.
It used to be
You
a-
remember that?
No.
Oh.
You just told me.
That was so convincing. You're like, oh, the old traffic school.
Listen, there's a high percentage that most of those places used to be traffic schools.
Yeah, oh,
Most
for
of
sure.
the most chic places you love. Where
Before
you
the
can
internet.
get
Before the internet.
$350 worth of pottery in one ashtray. Used to be a traffic school.
And now it's a whole empire. There's a hotel above it.
Oh my gosh.
Places
I've
like
never been in the
Soar.
hotel.
It looks cute.
Neither have I.
It's really nice.
Do you
yeah,
think
it's
we
really
could do a
nice.
looked in the
podcast
lobby.
from the hotel?
Sure.
Like, do you think? Oh, they should let Morgan and I stay there for a night.
They do apparently have a sign that like if there's a empty room after a certain time you can get it for like
Really?
That's
No.
never.
Oh, I
I'm
like
just
that.
saying,
I like
you
that because
have
I'm a
desperately
big,
want to have
yeah.
a sleepover there sometime.
I'm
I
big
Do a
on
haven't been up yet.
staycation, guys.
I'm big
Get
on
it.
going to a
Listen,
hotel.
you know
the night
Dusty. I haven't seen him in years, but you know him. So just tell him.
Dustin,
Sorry.
Dustin,
I
shout
love
My
how
out.
you're
friend is
calling him
Dusty.
Well,
Dusty.
Dustin said he'd do
She
our
has a-
episode sometimes.
She
so-
has
yeah.
a friend named
Shout out
Dusty,
Dustin.
so I got it confused. Well, he's my friend too.
He is your friend now.
He is my friend now, but I'm saying I got it confused for a second.
The Dusty
so
from Dustin.
tell Dustin
Have a call me.
we'd like to do. I'm suddenly my mom. Tell him we'd like to do a podcast from Hotel Covell.
Do
Drinking
it.
Manischewitz.
Listen,
Yeah.
you've always got to be planning your next episode.
Always work. Always be close.
Always wicked, always wicked.
I'm just kidding.
Should we get into a little lightning round?
Yeah,
What is
we
this?
do lightning.
This is a lightning round.
in
We ask
which
you guys some questions.
You
All
don't have
right.
to know the answer. You can guess. We'll give the correct answer eventually. Shaughn will keep tally.
Can I just back up? I'm so sorry to do this. You
Back
don't.
it up.
I'm so sorry. I know you introduced the segment, but do you want to say something really important about Blue Bottle?
Yes. That's right. We did. This show is supposed to be about wines, and Shaughn and I forgot that.
About the broken concrete in front of Blue Bottle. We are told that Chris Pine frequents Blue Bottle a lot. And we just want to say, what's up, Chris?
Interesting.
What's up, Chris?
Yo,
Are
Chris.
you getting me more wine, Morgan?
I'm getting you more wine.
Oh, thank you.
Have you met Chris Pine? He comes into Covell a lot,
Does
too.
he really?
Yeah.
See, I
haven't, but
probably
he seems
see
lovely.
so many famous people in life, especially hanging out at Covell. Like, people are always like, that person was there, and I'm like, I'm there hanging out at the bar with my wine, and I pay no attention.
I did a movie with him.
Ooh.
And
Wonder Woman?
No, it was called People Like Us with Elizabeth Banks. And I've never watched someone watch their close-up of their reaction to someone else talking more. And we've never done more takes of Chris Pine listening to Elizabeth Banks.
Oh.
What?
I mean, I think we did 25. I'm not kidding.
That's
of
like
him
David Fincher.
Listening.
That's like David Fincher numbers.
Just
Here's
listening.
the thing.
Just
I
listening.
could just watch Chris Pine listen all day.
It was very good,
in
but
the closest of close-ups. Play that shit over and over again. God,
Yeah.
God.
But in the end, I'm like Alex Kurtzman. You want to step up here? You want to do anything?
Oh, Alex Kurtzman. He's very talented.
But he was. I mean, anyway, whatever. That's my Chris Pine story. So every time I see him, and like he has no memory of this at all.
Maybe you can replace the memory with something even more positive and just meet up with him at Blue Bottle.
Yeah,
Maybe.
let's all have a party with him.
I don't want to
there.
ruin Blue Bottle for Chris Pine. I want him to be able to enjoy going there.
Well, yeah, I mean, as long as you pair him for the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I just want him to know about the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because his face.
I mean, yeah, it's worth a lot. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Chris Pine gets a big blockbuster movie, right?
Yeah, and then what happens?
He's on his way to work. He's like, you know what? Can I get a coffee? Uber pulls over.
Yeah.
Car service pulls over, and this driver goes, do you want me to go get that for you? He's like, no, I got it. I want to be a regular
Chris
dude.
Pine.
Chris
I'm
Pine,
a
regular
guy.
guy.
I'm from LA. I'm fucking
Yeah.
cool.
Walks in, right?
We're from LA too,
Fine.
Chris.
Walks in, fine. Doesn't
Scalding
fall.
hot coffee
Gets
in his
coffee,
hand.
walking out, falls, splat.
Screaming my name.
Cuts his chin open, stitches.
No,
they,
not
got
the
to halt,
chin.
they got to halt
The
production.
moneymaker.
And the burning hot coffee in the face.
Here's
Two
what
and a
I wanna
half
say.
months they have to halt production.
Yeah.
Cost the insurance company. I'm going to go ahead and say $35 million.
Wow. But you
LA,
wanna know-
fix this problem.
You want to know the great luck of Chris Pine? He's going to look even better.
You will.
Oh,
He
sure.
will when it's over. When it's all said and done.
Bad guys with scars.
We're just saying, Chris, come on the show and we'll help you with your impending accident.
I feel like this is just like a pitch
Misery.
show for you
I
to
know,
pitch
it's
people to
not.
come on the show.
I'm sorry. It's Misery. What if I was like Kathy Bates in Misery and Chris Pine, James Caan, and I trapped him in my house in Los Feliz, and like nobody knew where Chris Pine was.
You know, I
And
would
he
give
was
a lot.
like those girls. Like he was locked in.
I'd give so much money to live in your head for a night.
Oh my God. You guys, what if that happens? Just play this podcast back and be like, this is a clue. She said she was going to hold him hostage.
Where's Chris
Clue.
Pine?
It was
It's a declaration.
Well, you guys, we normally go to Covell after this, so we can all
coming.
go there
Oh.
tonight and
Oh.
see if he's hanging out.
Good. Chris Pine.
But first, we have to ask you some
we have some
questions
questions.
because for the people that want to know a few like wine factoids,
Sure.
what did you have, Shaughn?
I wanted to know how many Grand Crus are there in Beaujolais?
Me?
Yeah, anybody.
Anybody?
You
Seven.
slipped that out, didn't you?
What?
You said that
I
already.
think
didn't
I might
you?
have mentioned
You
when I
might
was
have
talking
she mentioned
about
it briefly,
What?
quickly.
I
They said
gestured
this
with
already.
both hands
Yeah.
if it's a clue.
2?
Times 5.
10.
Yeah.
50 points.
From north to south, they are.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Saint
know
Amour,
them?
Jolinas, Chenas, Moulin à Vin, Fleury, Chiraud, Morgon, Renier, Côte de Brie. Did I get them all?
This is like knowing all the capitals in the U.S.
They make you remember.
Times 10.
Oh, it'd be so much
Right?
easier if it went to a song.
I know.
I know.
this, you know.
I did learn all the presidents in order to a song.
To memorize wine stuff,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like amusing. What are they called? One word.
Mnemonic devices.
Yeah.
Mnemonic devices. Yeah, like to. Okay, no, I'm not. Anyway,
No.
let's move on.
If you guys want to hear the presidents, just let me know.
Okay.
But you have to, if you do it,
Just
you
in
have to, there's
case.
one you have to leave out.
I love how we all just went. Okay.
I have to leave one out,
You
yeah.
have to leave one out.
Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams,
So,
Jackson.
What's another region for which is known for having this nice, solid, Chris Pine would never trip in it, granite soil?
Which region? Burgundy.
Filipino town.
Yes.
No? I love Filipino
Keeping it
town.
local.
No, I was going to say
Historic.
Oh,
Historic.
Alvarado
Local,
and the
historic.
101, bitches.
so much granite there.
Ivanhoe.
I mean, Cornas in the road.
Cornat.
Cornat.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't remember you saying that. Did you say
I
No.
that?
did not say that. These are just evil questions that
Uh-huh.
even like people who probably weren't studying for a test probably wouldn't know. Like, what else did you have, Shaughn? We came up with these
What else
separately.
did I have?
I was just like, what's the stupidest question I can ask?
Oh, this is you might get this. This wine is released on the third Thursday in November every year.
My period.
It has the name Beaujolais.
What is that?
Do you know what I wanted to say?
What?
The September issue.
Ooh.
Makes no
Ooh.
sense.
That doesn't make
September, that
No,
makes no
but I mean
sense.
autumn.
Sorry.
It's all there. It's what gave Beaujolais why Beaujolais is still less expensive, because they release this like less expensive like thing every autumn, and it's kind of like it's probably even more
Manischewitz-y,
than this, because it's just more like fruity water
Oh,
with alcohol,
Interesting.
I'm into it.
but not as thick.
I could listen to anyone talk about anything if they're right. I could.
That's
Just
true.
keep going. I
Yeah,
like it.
there's nothing worse
No,
than
let me tell you.
working
No,
with
I'm
somebody.
fascinated by it. I'm just like, oh God, I'm a dumb.
No. See, we like live for nothing more than to recite the random wine facts we know. So if you knew, we'd probably be just like, I mean, we pretend like we're so excited, you know, but
Right.
secretly I'd be like, oh, the one thing I'm good at.
It must be so fun to know so much more than me. Like, that's all I can imagine. Like, I can't even imagine being
I'm sure
in a
there's-
room with somebody
I
who
feel-
knew that much less than I did about anything.
I feel like
That's
there's
not
probably
true.
500 topics that I have no clue
Yeah.
about. So
I'm sure.
yeah,
I'm sure you have.
I could give you an
vast
update
knowledge.
on the Little League baseball happening
you probably
right now
know
on
more.
Yeah.
ESPN.
I'm a baseball fan, but I don't know like facts, and so I
Yeah.
admire people when I get together. I'm like, I love baseball because I'm from St. Louis. You have to love baseball. I know. I'm not a Dodgers fan. I know you are, but
And
I
me,
love it.
Lifelong.
I love it because
Lifelong
like you gotta love
Dodgers
your
fan.
hometown. But I'm like, but I don't know. But then I tell people that, and then they just start going off, and I'm like, I wish, and I'm so jealous that I don't know the things the baseball people
You
know.
don't need
Yeah.
to know those things.
No, well, you don't need
No.
to know the wine. We'll all just share our knowledge.
Yeah.
What was your other question, Sean?
Beaujolais Nouveau.
What about
yeah.
it? 2015.
That's the one.
Yeah, 2015.
2015.
That was
The
when
answer to like
It's
what's-
very hot.
yeah.
Every November, the third Thursday of every November, they release the Beaujolais Nouveau, and it's like really, it's made differently than this. It's from Beaujolais, but it's from south on that slippery clay limestone soil, and
And it's fermented for like a couple of weeks, and it's released like
it's
right
not
away. It's like Thanksgiving wine. It's the one you drink at Thanksgiving.
Oh, I love it because it's in the fall.
It's in the fall
Yeah.
coming up. It's coming up. Get ready for it.
I love the fall.
Get ready.
Morgan and I, this is our first fall together.
oh, wait, how long ago did you guys become friends?
In like the last year, because people
wow.
people
We
would
have
always
all
come
the
over to
same
our
friends
houses.
in common, but we didn't
Oh.
know
And at
each
my
other.
house, they'd be like, "Do you know Morgan?" And at her house, they'd be like, "Do you know Robin?" And we'd always go, "We know she lives on the street." Like we'd always like just kind of be defense. And then Robin's other neighbor moved away, and she needed a new friend. So and I was here.
My next door neighbor on the other side was like my wife, and now
It's so good to have a neighbor friend, though.
yeah, it's
You just
really-
don't need to look very far for your friends. They
Don't.
have to be literally
I really,
Yeah.
the
my
proximity.
friends are farm to table.
Yeah.
I have a friend in my building, and it's just very convenient when you want someone who you don't have to leave the house to like hang out
Yeah.
and drink
Yeah.
with, and like
And it's a nice little walk for my dog. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, it's our first fall together, and I'm mostly
Very
excited
exciting.
just for her to see my sweater collections when I'm not.
I'm excited to see your sweater
my-
collections.
Yeah,
I have you still wearing a
thanks.
sweater right now. You're wearing a sweater
I
right
love
now.
sweaters, and I think that's why I like that season so much. It's hard to stop buying. My sweaters are your wine. You know.
Yeah, I know. I really want to see your, because I've been all night admiring this sweater. So like, I'm into the sweater thing,
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Lady.
dude.
Man, lady.
Man,
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man, lady. Do you want to ask another question? Or should we go right to the last one? Do we do three?
Wait, I think we did three.
Yeah.
We did three?
Yeah. Let's go to the last question. Just
Go
like
right to the last one.
because we always want to end on a positive note. What's giving you guys joy these days?
Bring it up. What's joyful?
Can be the same thing. Can be a different thing. What's
Let me
happy?
think. Oh, I will tell you what's giving me joy. Speaking of baseball, somebody helped me figure out how to. Basically, I have DirecTV. DirecTV. If you're listening to this, DirecTV, ignore me. I have DirecTV, and you can't have it's a sports conundrum, which is basically like if you can either have DirecTV and get the Red Zone channel, or you can have Time Warner and get the Dodgers. But you cannot get the Dodgers if you have DirecTV.
Oh my God.
And you cannot get the Red
That's
Zone
a-
channel if you have Time Warner.
Yeah.
So I had to
Stupid
pick
thing.
between two.
Oh my God.
So I don't get the Dodgers games at my house, and I'm a big Dodgers fan. I get them at my office. So the whole complicated fucking bullshit thing, right? So what gives me joy is that someone finally figured out how to mask the location that I'm on at getting the games, and now I can go online and get the Dodgers games and watch those at my house that way, and trick them into thinking I'm outside of LA in order to watch them.
That's so good.
And
I
that's
wish I could
giving
do
me
that
joy.
with Cardinals
Yeah.
baseball
Wow.
because
That's
I
giving me
would.
Well, you can't. You can go. You get MLB stream. You get the MLB.
I have the app, but it's not the same as like.
You get League Pass, and then you get all the games. The problem is, this is worth it. The problem is,
No, I will watch-
I have the League Pass where you can watch every single game, which is fine. You can get that easily and watch any game from anywhere else.
I just have the free app, so I literally
Right.
watch the numbers and the bases, and I'm
But
like, come
the
on.
problem is even with this, even if you buy the League Pass, if you try to watch the Dodger game, it'll say you're in the restricted area where they're
Oh.
airing the game, but they're not airing the game through my cable company, so I can't watch it no matter what. So I had to go to a secret thing where they mask where you are, so it makes.
But you figured it out.
figured it out.
That's
It gives me
good.
joy.
No, that would give me. That's awesome. That's good.
So it thinks you're like in Nebraska or something?
Thinks I'm not in LA,
Yeah.
That's so fucked
which is
up.
so
They
weird that you have to
won't-
trick them into
Yeah.
thinking you're not in LA in order to watch the LA baseball
That's-
games.
Yeah, that is
ridiculous.
so fucked.
Yeah.
That doesn't make. That's fucking crazy.
But
Okay.
figured it out.
You did it.
This feels not fair.
It's not fair. Do you want to know what's giving me joy?
Yeah.
Two things.
One.
One. Number one, my newfound love of calligraphy.
Oh my God.
Doing a lot of calligraphy to relax when I'm done working, which is a nice way to end the day, weirdly.
Are you writing like in your journal in calligraphy, or
The
Just
worst
like on
handwri-
graph paper.
just graph paper, just
with a
sentences?
pen. With a pen. I went to a class.
Did you have good handwriting before? 'Cause-
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But what's interesting is that I had good handwriting, and then I broke my thumb, and then I broke my thumb, and I made my handwriting like incredible. I like overcorrected because it was terrible, and then I like did it to make sure I had really good handwriting.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, and more importantly, slightly because it's not about a weird new hobby of mine, is the show Claws on TNT brings me so much joy. Have you guys watched it?
No.
Oh, is it about nails?
It's
about Santa Claus.
It's about a nail salon in Florida.
Oh, the claw. I was thinking Santa Claus.
No,
Niecy
it's
Nash?
really good.
I was
Niecy
thinking
Nash,
legal
man.
claws.
It's all about Niecy Nash for me right now. I can't be more about Niecy Nash and how good she is on claws. And I just wish people would listen
like
to
Tim
me.
Morgan and I just looked at each other.
You
Well,
don't
no,
know.
it's just hilarious because like we do
Yeah.
this thing. We're neighbors and we do a podcast every week, but it's like really deep down. Like I'm at home, like drinking whiskey and watching the Dodgers, and you're doing calligraphy with your dog and watching Claws, and we're just, we're just different.
And you're just right next door to each
Yeah.
other.
But, it works out.
It works.
It works. I think that's why it works.
Yeah, you got to have your differences. Although I now also really want to come and like watch your baseball and drink whiskey with
Please
you.
do.
I'll bring
It's
good
very
whiskey.
fun. It's very fun.
She picked my thing.
Great. Mazel. Great.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you
you
so
so much
much
for coming
for
here.
coming on the
Thank
show
you.
and
Cheers.
having a
You guys are
glass.
So impressive.
You guys are great.
Very.
Love a Beaujolais 2015.
Renee. What's the name of it?
Renee.
Yeah, Renee Zellweger.
Renee Zellweger.
Renee Zellweger.
Hey.
Hey, well, I hope you guys learned a lot about Los Feliz.
And I hope you are just ready to sit back and catch up on all the other episodes you haven't listened to, because we're gonna take a couple of weeks because we're signing with the network, guys. Big news.
Big news, guys. We're going to take a little vacation, and we're going to retool the show because we are now going to be with Boardwalk Audio.
Yeah, we're very excited about it.
I'm very excited. We're going to have some cool new guests, some great
cool new segments, some fantastic wine.
Yeah, but we'll be here. You can email us.
And we'll try and we'll put little pictures on the Instagram of us drinking just in case you get lonely.
Yeah, and we might do like a little handheld 10-minute show.
Just to let you know what you should be sipping for Labor Day.
Yeah, exactly. Easy enough.
Chilled Gamay, hint. Spoiler alert. No.
Someone's
we'll find
really
something.
pushing the chilled gamay over here.
It's summer. I just can't drink enough chilled gamay. That's what we were just.
How about like a chilled poussard or like a chilled
Oh yeah.
trousseau?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm down for that.
I can get into some Jura and some Savoy.
Or
I did
even
all
like-
test the other day. A nice, I mean, white, so obviously it's chilled, but it was from 2008, and it was still fresh as a whistle.
Fresh as a whistle? Fresh as a whistle. You heard it here first.
Fresh as a babbling brook.
Babbling brook.
Not a still one.
Yeah, so all of that kind of fun stuff. But we're super excited. You guys enjoy the time off. Listen to
have
back
a great
episodes.
Holiday. Yeah, catch up.
Yeah, have a great holiday. Thanks to all of our wine friends and
Thanks to Dr. America for our music.
Thomas Strachey for the graphic.
I said it first.
Yeah, guys, enjoy the little bit of break, and we will be back at you very
on
soon.
the 15th.
Yeah, on the 15th. Is that what the day is?
It's Friday the 15th. We'll be back.
Friday the 15th.
They come back.
The Wine Situation returns with all new episodes and guests.
And buckets of love.
And buckets of love.
Okay.
Okay, that was my best goth voice.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll talk to you soon. Pretend goth just sounds ridiculous.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I just drink wine. I don't fuck with IPAs. I just drink wine. I don't fuck with Minute Maids. I just drink wine. I don't fuck with coffee mates. I just drink wine. Give me red, white, or say, don't touch me, motherfucker. I'm a sommelier.